What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, and I'm just checking in on you. What's going on? How are ya? Now today is April the 29th, and this is going to be your weekly vendor reset and must-buys. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But we'll start off here in Washington, D.C., and then we will finish up in New York City. Our first vendor of the video is going to be the Base of Ops vendor. Here we go.
Hello, Agent.
And starting off at the top, we have the Proxy. This is the named Palisade Steelworks backpack with perfectly tamper-proof. And this one with crit chance and skill haste. Following that, we have a converted SMG-9 with health damage and steady-handed, an AKM with magazine size and thunderstrike, and finally, a M1911 with determined and reload speed. Following that, we have our gear items, starting with the Heligard backpack with crit chance, skill haste, and unstoppable force. This one you could easily go double crit and just, actually, I'll keep this one. Yeah, go double crit and keep the unstoppable force. It's a lot of fun. And finally, for the gear set items, or for the gear items, we have an Alps chest piece with crit chance, status, and intimidate. Looking at the mods, we have crit hit damage 10.1, drone armor repair 6.3, turret +1 extra mortar, and sticky bomb damage of 6.4. Now, must buys, things to look for from the Base of Ops vendor. I'd probably say just the Heligard backpack. Make that one double crit, and you're good to go. But that's really about it. So let's jump over to the Countdown and Clan vendors. Now remember that the Countdown and Clan vendors are both in New York and Washington, D.C., but we'll go ahead and check them out here while we can. Here we go. Countdown vendor. Starting with the Cold Relations, this is the named PP19 with Perfect Strained. Now this one with headshot damage, but you could easily just change that to damage to targets at a cover, and you're good to go. It's really not a bad weapon. The PP19 shoots slower, has a big magazine size, and then that way you can take full advantage of that Perfect Strained. Really not bad. Following that, we have a Bobber chest piece. This is the named chest piece with Perfect Entrench. This one crit hit damage and explosive resistance. And finally, we have the Grudge. This is the named Banshee SMG with Perfect Vindictive. And, well, let's jump over to the Clan vendor. I'm not saying any of those are must-buys because they're really not in my opinion. I mean, the Cold Relations, you would have to put something on there for rate of fire. It's just not worth it. But before we jump over to the Clan vendor, hold up, hold the phone. Big shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. Remember, we are on all platforms. So if you want to join in on the DoD on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, just go over to my Discord server, put your name under whatever tab it is for your platform, whether it be join the PC DoD, the PlayStation DoD, or the Xbox DoD. But nevertheless, shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. And here we go. Talking about clans, here's the clan vendor.
Good of you to stop by.
Starting with the new Reliable. This is the named RPK with perfectly optimized, and this one with swap speed. But you could easily just change that swap speed off for armor damage. Following that, we have gear set items. Starting with the Striker's backpack with really high crit hit damage. That's a really good Striker's bag. I would definitely pick that one up. You could even change the weapon damage to an armor core if you're nasty, and go with like a tanky striker build. That could be really fun. Following that, we have ongoing directive knee pads with decent weapon damage to where you could change the skill haste off for whatever it is you want, and you're good to go. Now, you cannot craft ongoing directive. You have to either farm it or buy it. So here's one right here. And finally, for the gear set items, we have a Future Initiative mask with skill haste. Going to the high-end items, we have a PDR with rate of fire and spike, an M870. I'm sorry, I was looking at Future Perfect, and I'm like, why would I put Future Perfect on an M870? Anyways, M870 Express, Future Perfect, and Accuracy. Following that, we have Legatus gloves with crit chance and status. You could easily go double crit with those, not bad. They're okay, but remember the 2-piece Legatus gives you 70% optimal range, and the 3-piece gives you 15% weapon damage. Following that, we have a military RPK with stability and sync, a China Light mask with repair skills and hazard, Hanayu knee pads. Oh, these are some good knee pads right here. So pick up these Hanayu knee pads, keep the skill haste, change the repair skills off for skill damage, and you're good to go. These are really good for skill builds. And finally, for the gear items, we have a 511 backpack with hazard, headshot, and opportunistic. Looking at the mods, we have shock resistance 8.8, skill haste 10.4, crit chance 4.7, and turret +1 extra mortar. Now, must buys, things to look for from the clan vendor. The striker bag is a good one. The ongoing directive knees are a good one. The Legatus gloves, you could go double crit. And the Hanayu knee pads, you could go skill damage, skill haste. But all right, that is it for the base of ops. Let's travel west. We'll double back east. Our first stop is going to be the campus settlement. Here we go. Now, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. What are you waiting on? Come on. Hit the like. Support the channel by subscribing. And remember, I do daily Division content, so don't forget to ring that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single Division upload. And also, I'm live streaming on Twitch, so check me out over there on Twitch. Here we go.
Check it out.
The campus, starting with the White Death. This is the, ooh, yo, that's a good White Death. Okay. Pick this one up right now. This is a must-buy White Death. It comes with damage to targets out of cover, so you could change Sadist to whatever it is you want. Keep this sniper forever, and then just keep changing the talent to whatever it is you want. I would highly recommend going Determined, but, you know, that's just me. But having the White Death with damage to targets out of cover, that is a good sniper. All right, moving on. Model 700 with health damage and vindictive. And finally, a Big Show with swap speed and perfect Thunderstrike. Looking at the gear items, we have an Alps mask with repair skills and crit chance. Not bad for like a healer crit chance build. That's not bad. And finally, Overlord holster with repair skills and weapon handling. Looking at the mods, we have skill duration 8.2, chem launcher skill haste 5.8, hive duration 4.3, pulse radius 8.8, and trap duration of 4.1. Now, must buys, things to look for from the campus, the White Death for sure. The Alp Summit mask isn't bad if you want to go with like a healer or healer crit build, something like that. Really not bad. All right, so that is the campus settlement. Now it's time to go to our Dark Zone vendors, starting with Dark Zone West. West! Let's go. And just a friendly reminder, for all of these Dark Zone vendors, they only take Dark Zone resources as a currency. So go to your resources tab, and just above the keys, you will see your Dark Zone resources. For example, here, I'm very low. I'm only at 90 out of 999. So if I find anything I want to pick up now, I need to go back into the Dark Zone and either pick up the little blue boxes that give me Dark Zone resources, or I have to pick up contaminated items, deconstruct them into Dark Zone resources, and then extract them. Those are the only two ways of getting your Dark Zone resources. And with that being said, let's jump over here to the Dark Zone vendors and see what they have to offer this week. And here we go. Hello. Starting with the Death Grips. Okay. These are the PvP exclusive 511 gloves that give you armor on kill as an attribute. Now this one with weapon handling, it's not bad. It's okay. My problem with it is that it's 511, and the 511 brand set bonuses are just really not that great. But these are PvP exclusive gloves, so you can even get them from, Conflict, Dark Zone, or named item caches. Those are the only three ways. So pick them up while you can. Dark Zone West. Next up, we have a double barrel sawed-off with max reload and future perfect, and an LVOAC with behind you and health damage. Looking at the gear items, we have Umbra gloves with weapon handling, Refactor knee pads with hazard, Zoo gloves with weapon handling and status, and finally Fenris knee pads with repair skills and explosive resistance. Looking at the mods, we have Pulse Resistance 8.5, Secret Mind Health 6.4, Shield Deflector Damage 4.2, Firefly Speed 8.2, and Decoy Health of 6.0. Now, must buys, things to look for from DZ West. The Death Grips, for sure. Those are good. They're rare. Pick them up. Okay. Not bad. Now, let's take our talents down south to the deep south. DZ South. Let's go. Oh, man. I forgot to do the voice. Hold on. Yeah, boy. We going down south. Let's go. I'm getting better. All right. DZ South. Here we go.
Nice to see you.
Ooh. Oh, she. Yo. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of buying these from the DZ vendors just because they're so expensive, but this 0F's chess piece is a good one. You could go double crit, perfectly unbreakable. It's a good chess piece. This one's not bad. Just again, change the health to crit chance and go double crit. Going to the high-end items, we have an MP7 with crit damage and spike, a PDR with armor damage and pressure point, a Magnum with swap speed and in sync. Going to the gear items, we have a Hot Shot backpack with headshot, not bad. Hunter's Fury chest piece with status. Sokolov concern, skill damage, skill haste, and versatile. Interesting. And finally, oh, what? Bro. Okay. We have a double crit Fenris with glass cannon in DZ South. Pick this one up. This is a good pickup. It's not every day you fall onto a double crit Fenris. So you could use this one and change the glass cannon to unbreakable. You could change it to obliterate. You could change this over to sadist. You could change, like, there's so many different things you could use with this. This is a really good chess piece. The problem is that it's being sold in DZ South and it's 101 DZ resources. Another thing is if you don't want glass cannon on there, you would have to change it, and then therefore forcing you to optimize those other attributes. So just be wary of that. Okay. Going to the mods, we have crit damage 10.1, drone deflector duration 6.5, turret burn damage 4.2, and sticky bomb skill haste of 4.3. Now, must buy things to look for from DZ South, the 0Fs, the Hot Shot, and the Fenris. These are all good pickups. Now, before we go to DZ East, we need to make a pit stop to the castle settlement. Now, what I do is I go to the descent entrance, and then I just run up these stairs. I pet the dog, and then I go to the vendor. So here's the doggy. What up, dog? Arp, arp. What up, dog? Oh, hold on. I got him. Oh, you stretching. Oh, shit. Yo, he just jumped up at me. Oh, all right. See you later, Ransom. Nope, he's still glitching out. Or she's still glitching out. Whatever. All right. Castle settlement. Big money. No whammies. Ooh, yo, this is another good pickup. The Punch Drunk with crit chance. It's exactly what you want with this mask. Pick this one up right now. You could change the weapon damage to armor. You could just max out the weapon damage. Doesn't matter, but you have crit chance and you have that headshot roll on here. Perfect. That's exactly what I use with my pistol builds and exactly what I would recommend to you. So pick this one up right now, the Punch Shrunk at the Castle Settlement. Following that, we have a Surplus SVD with armor damage and fast hands, not bad. An M60 with crit hit damage and sledgehammer. Bellstone Armory mask with health and explosive. A Zoo holster with crit hit damage and explosive resistance. Looking at the mods, we have repair skill 16.2, chem launcher duration 4.3, hive duration 4.3, pulse radius 8.6, and finally trap shock radius of 6.1. Now, must buys the Punch Drunk for sure. Pick up the Punch Drunk. If you like the SVD, this one with armor damage isn't bad. Just change the talent to whatever it is you want. And, I mean, you could make the Zoo holster a double crit if you wanted to. Not bad. All right. Now, let's jump over to DZ East. Now, for DZ East, this is the only dark zone where I do not go to the main entrance. I make my way over to the Alpha checkpoint. That way I can just exit and go straight to the vendor. Now, I know that it does this double loading screen. It's just trying to put me in a populated dark zone, which is fine, but we're not going to use that. We're just going to go out here and see what the vendor has to offer.
Priority objective available.
And here we go. DZ East.
Detected.
Starting with the Ekham's long stick. This is the named marksman rifle with perfect ranger, and this one with swap speed, but you could easily change that swap speed off for damage to targets at a cover and be good to go. After that, we have an M44 carbine with optimal range and close and personal. This is like the craziest two things put together ever. It had me stuttering there for a second. I'm like, optimal range and close and personal? Why? Anyways, following that, we have a military M60 with flatline and swap speed. Looking at the gear items, we have Negotiator's Mask with weapon handling, Ongoing Directive holster with weapon handling. Remember, the Ongoing Directive, you cannot craft it. You have to either buy it or farm for it. So here's one right here, DZ East. Following that, we have a Shiny Monkey mask with crit chance and health. And finally, a Walker Hare's holster with health and skill haste. Looking at the mods, we have skill duration 8.5, chem launcher damage 4.1, hive range 4.0, pulse skill haste 4.9, and trap duration of 4.3. Now, must buys, things to look for from DZ East. The Ekham's long stick's not bad. The Ongoing Directive is not bad. That's really about it.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
Now let's go to our last stop in Washington, D.C., the theater. The theater. We are going to the theater.
Hostiles.
Oh, girl,
Deployed.
going to the theater.
Detected.
All right, here we go. Feeling fancy at the theater. Big money, no
Nice
whammies.
seeing you again.
And starting with the Eagle's Grasp. These are the named zoo gloves with weapon handling as an attribute. Just change the health off for crit chance, and you're good to go. Following that, we have a double barrel shotty with max armor damage, headshot, and perpetuation. A SIG 716 with preservation and max damage to targets at a cover. 511 gloves with skill haste and repair skills. And finally, Bellstone Armory knee pads with crit chance and status. But the armor on here is so high that I would probably change the status to armor regeneration and then just optimize the rest of the attributes. Going to the mods, we have Armor on Kill 15.8k, Seeker Mind Skill Haste 5.0, Shield Health 4.1, Firefly Damage 6.0, and Decoy Duration 6.0. Must buys, things to look for from the theater. The Eagle's Grasp isn't bad, and the Bellstone Armory knees are not bad either. All right, let's finish this up in New York City. Here we go. Bum bum blow. All right, come on with it. And just a friendly reminder, the scouts end next week. So finish up all your scouts. Our climax mission is next week, and that's when we get the birdie quick fix. All right, here we go. Marco. Starting with the MP5 with damage targets at a cover and eyeless. This is a good pickup. Just change the talent to whatever it is you want, and you're good to go. Following that, we have a tactical 308 with max marksman rifle damage, rate of fire, and strained. An ACS 12 with crit chance and pressure point. And finally, a card 45 with armor damage and spike. Looking at the gear items, we have an Overlord chest piece with armor regeneration, skill haste, and braced. Fenris knee pads, another thing of Fenris with double crit. Bro, another one. Pick these up. You could change the weapon damage to an armor core or max out the weapon damage. Either one is fine, but then just optimize the two crit rolls to max. And finally, we have an Araldi holster with headshot and hazard, but what I would do with this one is change the hazard off for crit chance and go crit chance headshot and put that on a sniper. Going for mods, we have crit chance 4.6, pulse resistance 8.3, turret burn damage 4.2, firefly speed 8.2, and finally trap duration of 4.2. Now, must buys, things to look for from Marco here at the Haven Settlement. The MP5 with detox, not bad. What I would do is just change the eyeless off for whatever it is you want. You're good to go. The Fenris double crit is a great pickup. Either max out the weapon damage or change it to an armor core. Either one is fine. And the Araldi holster isn't bad. Just change the hazard off for crit chance. All right. And then that, my dear agents, leaves us with our last vendor of the week, Roy Bunny. But wait. Make sure you pet the dog, all right? Make sure you interact with the dog twice. The first interaction, you're just petting the dog, you know, all nice, wimly nimly. But then that second interaction, ooh, that second one is random. He could bark at you. He could try to shake your hand. He could roll over. Let's see what he does. And this week, oh, he's trying to shake my hand. Aww, very good. Okay, here we go. Finishing up with Roy Benitez. And starting with the PDR, this one with rate of fire and pressure point. Following that, we have an SRS with damage targets at a cover and eyeless. Yo, this is a really good SRS. It's a really good SRS. Dude, this has been a good vendor reset. Just change the talent off for whatever it is you want. I would highly recommend Determined, but this is a good SRS to pick up for sure. We've had a good SRS. We've had a good Model 700. We've had a good... we've had a good Eckham's long stick and a good White Death. That's 3 different snipers today. That's a good, it's not bad. On top of the double crit Heligard, the double crit Fenris, the other double crit Fenris. I mean, this has been a good vendor reset. Following that, we have a KSG with magazine size and pummel, an X45 tactical with crit damage and killer. Looking at the gear items, we have a Heligard backpack with opportunistic headshot and explosive resistance, Alp Summit gloves with skill haste and status, and finally, Electric holster with repair skills and weapon handling. Looking at the mods, we have Pulse Resistance 8.5, Armor on Kill 16k, Seeker Mind skill haste 4.7, Hive Duration 4.2, and Decoy Health of 6.0. Now, must buys things to look for from Roy Benitez. This SRS is a really good sniper. Pick it up. The Heligard's not bad. You could go crit headshot with like a, I don't know, with like a shotty. That could be fun. And really, that's about it. All right. Pretty decent vendor reset. I'm not going to lie. We had quite a number of items that were good. Quite a number of them. And then not to mention the other named items like the Punch Drunk and the 511 gloves, the Death Grips, and all of that. I mean, not a bad vendor reset, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. But that's it for me. I am Kamikazevondoom. If you found this helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, please hit the thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace out.